All right, so this is Successors, 4th edition. I did a box opening video of it about a week ago. This is the new Phalanx edition of Successors. If I remember correctly, there was 2 editions from Avalon Hill, and then the 3rd edition was the GMT edition, which was, up to this point, a very nice edition. This one here blows it out of the park. This is a really, really nice set. So for those that have 3rd edition, I've gotten this question on multiple different forums asking, well, you know, what makes this one special? Should I get the 4th edition? I have 3rd. 3rd's really nice. Okay, so here's what you get with the 4th. With the 4th, you're going to get some optional cards that are new to the game, and the cards are tarot size, so they're much larger. The font on it is large and very readable, so the cards are excellent. There's also 1 card for each of the territories in the game, and that's not quite the correct game terminology. I think they're provinces is the game terminology. I have too many games and I get the terms wrong, so don't correct me on it. But these are the different regions in the game, and it shows you on the card the types of spaces and how many of them. So this shows you have 1 minor city, a major city, which has to be besieged. That's the square one. The victory point value of that space, this is 1V for 1 victory point. That's not the Roman numeral 4. That's the only flaws. It almost looks like a Roman numeral 4. Shows you where on the map to find it, and how many local support points you'll get in a battle if you control that particular province. So that's something that is new to the game, so it's easy to tabulate victory points. Victory points are all going to be in orange, so the game is nicely color-coded now in a way that it never was before. The graphic presentation has gone up a couple notches here. So nice as the 3rd one was, this is even better. So you have a victory track now on the board that you can use to track this stuff. And then the legitimacy track is up there. Legitimacy is all done in purple. And then popularity is all done kind of in a fuchsia or pink color. And so there's been a few tweaks to game terminology to smooth out the rules. That's something I think is a nice improvement. Wasn't bad before, but it's just better now. Nice little movement allowance table on a tarot size card that you can give to the person whose turn it is to roll on there. And I just stick the dice on there, and it's easy for you to see how many movement points all your generals will have during that segment. So that's kind of cool. You see on the Foniki card that it shows you the fleet that controlled that province will give you as well. Another useful reminder with those cards. These cards were not in the 3rd edition. Something else I should point out, all of the language is in Greek, which is really cool. I'm a pastor, I get into New Testament Greek, and so it's really kind of cool to see all of the Greek pronunciations. Now they put it in English letters, so they're using Latin letters here, but the language is definitely Greek, which is kind of cool for a Greek geek like me, so I kind of like that. That's something new to this edition. I think the colors of the players are a little bit different now. I can't remember for sure, but I think green wasn't a player color in the GMT edition. I think that was the independent side. Independents are now gray instead of that. So that's something new. Let me show you the minis. This is one of the, actually this is the heir. This is Alexander IV, the infant, and being cradled by the mother here. And there's these cool little plastic bases that you can snap on and snap off really easy onto the minis to show who controls that general. That is super, super cool. The miniatures are all unique sculpts, and they are super detailed. Painting these would be awesome. It's very tempting for me to undertake. I might just undertake it for this one. This is a really, really cool set of miniatures. The values on the front and on the back, which makes it easy to see on the board. It matches the image of the character. Let's see, this is Ptolemy, so you can see here his sculpt will match the photo on there on the card, or the image on the card, I should say, which is really, really helpful to identify who's who. What I'm recommending, I think I'm going to do is with a Sharpie marker, take the hierarchy number, which is unique to each of the leaders, and go ahead and put that on the bottom to make it quicker to associate these with a card. I think that will be something that'll help. So the leaders are all they got really cool miniature figures for them. There is also stand-up counters, and there's color-coded stand-up bases. A lot of them, enough of them that you can play the game. If you wanted to do that, if you prefer that, because unpainted figures might be less attractive on the board. Maybe that's not your style, so you could go with that. And then there's smaller square counters, which you could use if you prefer that approach. That's often very useful when somebody is besieged. So having those are really useful in those kind of situations. So that's all included in the game. Some really nice new things. There's also a booklet, a play booklet that has scenarios, 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, and I think a 5-player scenario, which is a shorter version of the game. Say you don't have enough time to play the whole shebang, you can do that. And I haven't really looked at those. I'm just playing the basic, just kind of playing God mode here, and just exploring how the game flows and works. I haven't played this in a long time, so I wanted to get it out and just refresh how everything works. There's an optional rule. Let me show you this. This is something else that's new in the 4th edition, is there are different images on the mercenary units. So most of the mercenary units, they're going to look like this, and they have different images, and the images are not relevant, so they're just a mishmash of different styles, as you can see here. So the images don't matter. It's the numbers on them that actually do matter. However, there is an optional rule where cavalry is treated separately, in which case the image does matter. I haven't played with those rules yet, but that's something new to the 4th edition. So cavalry are going to kind of function in a way that's, in a sense, kind of like the elephants. The elephants have they're not quite like mercs. There's some special rules involving them. And so that's something else that's new to the game, is the cavalry special rules. With regards to that, let me show you something else. Let's see, where is one? I'm going to show you a couple things. There is to mark the player who is, what's the name? Can't remember the right terminology for it. There's the player that you can attack without losing champion status. And the term's just missing me here. It's usurper, that's it. Mark the usurper. In the 3rd edition, there was a usurper card that you gave to mark which player is the usurper. There's going to be a new one every turn based on victory point tabulation. The Kickstarter, they actually included a full-on ring. I mean, this is a substantial actual ring that you can give to the player that is marked as the usurper. That's kind of cool too. There is a marker to mark who's the first player and what direction around the table you're going to go. So that's another cool feature here in the Phalanx edition. So lots of cool stuff in here. Definitely worth picking out. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The player, one of the other optional rules is the player can also establish a capital city, which would be to turn one of the round spaces into like a square space by playing op cards. During their turn, they start it with an event, and I believe they finish it through op card value. And so that would place a capital city marker that's color coded to them onto the board. If it ends up getting captured from another player, then the other player gets a 1 victory point token to add to their victory point score, which is kind of cool, new wrinkle in the game. So there's lots of new stuff here. Very, very cool presentation. The game also comes with elephant dice, so kind of like Hannibal. Instead of doing the math, you could just do the math. It's basically roll a die, subtract 2 to a minimum of 0, and that's basically what the effect of this is. So you can get a maximum of having an elephant impose or impart 4 strength points to your battle total, or it could be 3, 2, and then 1, and then 2 of the die faces are zeros. So that's kind of cool to have this in the game as well. The silver shields, I think this is new. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played, but the Silver Shields event, there's 2 versions of the card. So this is the card that goes into the deck. Once it gets played in this event, it's removed, and an alternate version of this is introduced into the discard pile, turning it into a surprise event that can be used later on during the game. So That's Successors 4th edition. All the cool new goodies that you get with the game. I'm Joel Toppin. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you think of it, also I also do a lot of videos for GMT. Check out their channel. There's some really cool stuff on there that I've done. And hope you all have a wonderful day.